What if Kung Fu Panda wasn't just a cool idea, but a character your table would never forget? His name's Poe, right? Today we're brewing Poe into a fully playable D&D character, breaking down the choices, the flavor, and the mechanics that make them sing at the table. Ever wonder how to play Poe at your D&D table? We'll show you exactly how to do it, because this is how we brew it. Homebrew is where the heart is. It's where dungeon masters, dice goblins, and beautiful chaos gremlins come together to turn sparks into legends. So how do you take an idea, a class, a twist, a backstory, a hook, a wild mechanic, and turn it into something that actually works at the table? It's simple. We brew it. We've got 6 favorable categories to walk through, designed to help you build characters that feel alive, playable, and unforgettable at the table. Today, we're starting with Brew It, but first today, Taylor, our sponsor is Chaotic Studios, so I'm going to challenge you to do this ad read as if you were a character in the Kung Fu Panda universe.
Got it. I'm gonna be Master Shifu. Here we go. Listen, Poe. Today's episode is sponsored by Chaotic Studios, not sponsored by Order, sponsored by Chaos. You think your campaign has enough chaos? Please. Chaotic Studios looked at normal tabletop accessories and said, what if we made them cooler? Less panda. Need gorgeous dice? They've got them. Dice towers? Absolutely. Beautiful 3D minis? Exactly. Custom painted creations for your table? They'll make them. They're just as good as the Dragon Warrior, better than you, Poe. Coasters worthy of protecting the sacred game table, of course. They even have a subscription box, because apparently unleashing fresh chaos on your doorstep once wasn't enough. If it belongs at a tabletop, there's a decent chance they've already made it. And if they haven't, they'll probably invent it by next Tuesday, because that's what training brings you. Use our affiliate link below to get 10% off your order and help support the show. Chaotic Studios, embracing tabletop chaos so your party doesn't have to. Although, let's be honest, they still will.
Good job.
It's the best I got.
Good job. No, it's good. Thanks again to Chaotic Studios for sponsoring the show. Let's get into the categories of B, base build. What is the mechanical foundation? Class, species, stats, and non-negotiables to make the character function. Resonance and vibe is R. This is where the characters get a heartbeat. What's the tone, theme, and emotional texture? How do they feel to play? E is extra froth, what makes this character pop. A signature move, a strange habit, a cinematic flourish. W is weird for us, the little off-book detail you never find in a standard build guide, a quirk, contradiction, or secret that belongs to this character alone. I, an inner drive. Why do they adventure? What do they want? Fear or feel compelled to prove? This is the internal engine, the internal drive, that keeps them moving when the dice turns cruel. And T, tension. What pressure follows them into every scene? A rival, a flaw, a ticking clock, or a truth waiting to surface. This is the friction that creates the story. So let's get right into it, Taylor. Where, if we were trying to make Poe into a D&D playable character, what was the base build?
I was gonna say make him a monk, but I'm like, that doesn't really make any sense. Because he's non-monk. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's like the least monkey person. Monkey, hilarious. He's the least, like, martial art prowess person in the entire movie. So, until he is, but he uses, like, his own thing. Yeah, I don't know. This is a good question. The base build of Poe. Like, part of me is like, would he have to be a bard? Because technically the only thing he knows how to do is make dumplings. You know?
Okay. So my initial instinct was to make him a drunken master style monk.
Yeah.
Because then you get the like theme and flavor of him being a little weird and
That's
drunken
fair.
masters have the charisma performance side of the skill set that like you get the proficiency in the performance skill and everything. But I would say in general, like from a mechanical standpoint, you would have this character. I think it's less important about the class and more important that like all of his stats are put into things like Constitution. You know? Like,
that's fair.
Like, he's not built correctly. So, like, if like, this is not, we're not going to make him a wizard. But if he was a wizard, he would have, like, no intelligence.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And then, like, eventually, I feel like when you finally learn and unlock your martial prowess, right?
Yeah.
We give the character a special feat that allows them to use their like charisma skill or use charisma stat or one of those other stats to use their ability. So if it was a wizard, they could use charisma instead of intelligence for their martial arts. And again, obviously, the wizard is not necessarily the perfect here, though. You could do the blade singer because the blade singer has that martial ability. But yeah. So like if he's a monk, like everybody in theory in this martial arts world is a monk, maybe. But
Right.
if he's drunken master, perhaps he's like not good at wisdom at all.
You're so funny.
And his dexterity's low, but his constitution's very high.
Right. Well, I'm also wondering if he's like, and I'm trying to look it up real quick just so I'm not like lying to you.
Mhm.
But I wonder if there's something to be said from leaning into something that is D&D adjacent for this as far as base build goes. Specifically thinking of Obojima, that new Tales from the Tall Grass, the 1985's game like module / adventure book, source book that came out that is D&D 5e specifically, but they have, they're very Studio Ghibli like anime based, but one of their what's it called, subclasses is here I'm looking at it right now, is like Path of the Belly Brewer. It's a barbarian subclass, but it's like the guy eats things and like uses his stomach for everything. Like it's like that's like the vibe of that subclass. So it's like that's just a thing that came in my head. I was like, oh, what about that? Like so there's like you said, there's like drunken master, monk, but then there's also like this barbarian Path of the Belly Brewer from Obojima that I'm like, those I feel like are so in the vein of who Poe has to be,
That's really awesome. I can also see the power of having him be like a barbarian who just never rages, right?
Yeah.
And then finally he rages in order to get his because the rage gives you a lot of bonuses. That might be the simplest from a mechanical perspective. Just having a barbarian who never rages. If you want to check out the Obojima module, that's amazing because do that. Or if you liked our other ideas, I think that makes sense. But I think that's probably the simplest. Berserker who never rages, and then finally he rages at the end of the day, right? We can sort of alter the story a little bit here because, this is getting more into the resonance and vibe section / the inner drive, right? But resonance and vibe here, like what makes Poe an interesting character in my mind, okay? Like I've only watched Kung Fu Panda a couple times. I think you're a bigger fan of Kung Fu Panda than I am. But like basically to me is he doesn't look the part and he doesn't act the part until he does act the part, even though he never totally looks the part. And he doesn't act the part. And then he's also Jack Black. Those are like the three essentials for the vibes. So like in that way, right? Like he needs some reason where he doesn't act the part. It doesn't have to be that he eats a lot of food and that he's, kind of lazy or whatever, though that is perfectly acceptable if that's what you want to do. The core of the right vibe is that he doesn't act the part, he doesn't look the part. So like he should be like a small barbarian or like something like that, like something weird. Like a gnome barbarian or something.
I mean, I think something. I mean, you're hitting on it with as far as he doesn't act the part, or like the differences. And I think the thing that's important about Kung Fu Panda, specifically about Poe, is that he is not the norm. He is like an outcast or a misfit in the sense of like Yeah, like a gnome barbarian is crazy, or like anything that is gnome, halfling, shoot, drow, skinny tiny little drow. Like it could be like anything that is like, oh, if you're gonna stick with barbarian as your base build for sure. Anything that is not considered barbarian, it could be a myconid. Like it could be anything, you know. Like
Yeah, the Vicodin would be amazing. The little
yeah, I
angry
think
mushroom.
that's the cool part is that it's like even and I think what you're hitting on especially is like with Poe, he never there's like this idea of who the Dragon Warrior is. And like, oh, he has to be Dragon Warrior has to be fierce and has to have a lot of training and like know exactly what to do at any moment. And Poe never is any of that ever until the actual role of the Dragon Warrior is reformed to be like, no, the Dragon Warrior can be this guy. You know, it could just be someone who is like Poe. It doesn't have to be all these other things we've listed. So I think that's what's cool. It's like, oh yeah, if you stick with Barbarian and they've never ever raged before, like what does their rage actually look like? And maybe that's what gives them true powers when they lean into the thing that they're more used to doing as opposed to just like being bad, you know?
Yep. Well, based on that then, and I'll ask you because this is going to be the resonance and vibe and a little bit of that inner drive and tension, right? Should we flavor the barbarian's rage as rage, or should it be some other emotion in order to get the right vibe, or like should it be something else? The barbarian character will not channel this until they kind of unlock the true understanding of what it is. Like the Kung Fu Panda is ultimately a kung fu movie, right?
Yeah.
Taking inspiration from all these other old kung fu movies, and so often, right? It's the guy learns, like, already has some martial prowess, but learns Tai Chi, and Tai Chi is the way of peace and like going with the flow and all this other stuff, right? And then through Tai Chi, they are able to be like, aha, now I can defeat the villain because he would never know peace. He is only destruction. You know? And like that's like pretty much what happened. And in every kung fu movie, and I have lots of takes on some of the more recent things that we've watched, like Shang-Chi, that we're just doing this and did nothing interesting whatsoever. But anyway, the aside, not important for Kung Fu Panda. Like, what is the thing that he is learning? What is the Tai Chi equivalent in this scenario?
I mean, I think the thing that he is like really unlocking for himself is that a little bit of what you're right. It's a little bit of what I already said, but like that he is enough. Like he is important. He is someone worthy of being important. Because the whole movie, he's like, it's funny because he like gets his belly into everything, like literally and figuratively. He really gets his belly in every situation and that he shouldn't be. And it's mostly because he's curious, but he actually doesn't think he's worthy of being anything.
Right.
Every time even because there's Master Shifu, but then there's Master Yugui, who is like, no, like the turtle, who's like, no, this is the Dragon Warrior. And everybody's like, no. And even Poe is like, no. Like, what do you mean? So, to your point of like, yeah, for inner drive, like, what are we learning? But also, what is his rage?
Yeah.
And is it have to be angry, or can it be something else?
I was gonna say, is it like, is his rage replaced with the word self-esteem?
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, that's possible. I think you could flavor. It's like, what is the tangent of rage here? Can it be something that equals passion? Can it be something that equals care? Like, can it be self-esteem? Can it be self-confidence?
Scott
like, is it
earned the power of self-respect.
No, like literally, yeah. So it's like one of those, like, what does he have to learn that, like, is his rage literally him being like, oh, I like care about protecting these people, or, and like that inner rage is like a fire of like, oh no, I am the one, I am the Dragon Warrior. You know what I mean?
Right.
Is it that version? Basically, like, yeah, is it self-confidence?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's what I would lean into.
Yeah, no, I'm down for all of that. It's so funny if it's literally like self-respect or whatever, but that makes total sense. And you could name the mechanic whatever you want for flavor purposes, but
yeah,
that would be the. Honestly, we've pretty much touched on a lot of the inner drive, right? But we're gonna expand upon that a little bit later as well. Okay, let's go to in order though. For E, extra froth, and W, weird for us. Like, what makes the character pop? What's going to be like that little extra over the top thing, and or the weird for us?
The entire movie, for God knows what reason, Poe wants to eat dumplings and is distracted by dumplings pretty much the whole time, and I think it's very funny. So I need that. Like, it doesn't have to be a dumpling. It could be a good berry. It could be a health potion. It could be something as simple as a cookie. I don't care. I think it's funny if there's some like mechanical, like mechanical flavor of, oh, whenever you see this cookie, you have to roll a disadvantage for whatever you're doing because you've lost focus completely. Like, that to me is so funny and like gives such a like fun flavor to this character that is like, it's like what's called a flaw. Like, it's a complexity, but it's a flaw of like that is mechanical that I think would be actually really funny to me. And then you could be like, but if you eat the cookie, you get advantage. You get disadvantage while the cookie is within like 20 feet of you. Because all you're doing is cookie. Like that's it.
Yeah.
But the second you eat the cookie, you get advantage on your next thing. I think would be funny.
Yeah, and or if someone like threatens the cookie, you're like advantage all the way. In D&D overall, right? The power of D&D and the power of unscripted like improv settings is coming up with the random weird thing that becomes your party's inside joke forever, right? Like, I remember listening to The Adventure Zone, and one of the characters' names is Taco, and he's just trying to make a taco. And in the fantasy world, right, and tacos have not existed, and like they like are running away from like a mining drill, right? And like a cow gets in the path of the mining drill and gets destroyed, right? And he's like, oh my god, let me roll to see if I understand the concept of ground beef for tacos.
That's wild.
And the dungeon master was so upset. He was just like,
wild. What? That's funny though.
And it was so good.
Funny.
Right, but like you couldn't like if the dungeon master planned for that, great job on you. But most likely he did not. He was just like, this is what's happening, right? Yeah. And I'm pretty sure he's actually just running like the mines of Fandelver or whatever.
Right.
So it's just like pre-planned stuff. Like he didn't need it. And it was just so funny. I remember being like, okay, now I'm going to listen to this show for a while because it was just so funny, right? But like that's the kind of thing that like brings your whole table together. Everyone's so excited. The dungeon master gets to act like you just like he hates you, but like secretly you're like, this is the greatest, and the party gets to celebrate, right? This stupid, like that's the kind of thing we got to do. So which means like I would basically just be like brainstorming ideas of like you have some food or concept or thing that just totally distracts you, right?
Yeah.
But you don't choose it until like you find the perfect thing. That would be what I would do. So cookie is our stand-in, but
like anything that works. To me that's funny you say that because that also reminds me of shout out to Cookie Taco, the name of a character of one of my players in Queens. And she's like, I've asked her, I was like, what is your want? What's your character's desire? And she goes, to find a cookie I can eat because I'm diabetic. And I went, oh my God. And I'm like, are you serious? And she's like, She's like, my character wants to find a cookie that won't make her go into anaphylactic shock. And I'm like, or not anaphylactic, but you know, like when you have too high blood pressure.
Getting into shock.
Yeah. And I was like, oh no. And in my mind, I'm like, that's nuts. But then we're playing Theros and we go into an island and I'm like, oh, you stumble into a bakery. And she raises her hand and goes, is there a cookie in the bakery? And I went, yes, there's a cookie in the bakery. She's like, I would like to taste it. And I'm like, this is nuts. But it's funny.
Yeah, it's like the best.
That's her whole thing, you know?
It's the best. Coming up with this little bit like that, like with Cookie Taco, was that the character's name? Like that bit will pay off, or your dungeon master isn't good, right? Or if you're a dungeon master, like you need to make that little joke pay off, or like get good, bro, because like it's so. Those are the things that make D&D amazing, right? Like it's the silly, organic, impossible to plan for thing that comes out and creates this beautiful moment and hilarious moment often than not. So that's our extra froth / kind of our weird for us. I do think like if there was a weird for us, there's like the NPC that is important to me, like from the first movie, is that like the tiger lady,
the love interest.
Oh, is that her love interest? I forget. But yeah, like
she ends up liking him, or they like each other eventually. But I consider it the love interest for sure.
Sure,
it's technically not. Technically, she's the one who was supposed to be the dragon warrior, and so that's like not to mean to accidentally jump to tension, but that is the tension point technically, is that she's like, you're not the dragon warrior, but I have to deal with you. But eventually they like each other, and it's like a stand-in for love interest.
Yeah.
In a kid's movie.
It's a kid's movie, yeah. Well, yeah. I just always find it insane that the tiger is Angelina Jolie. So wild.
Isn't that wild?
So wild. It's like those tigers in Zootopia that are like way too buff and cool and attractive. And it's like, this is a tiger. I don't understand. Anyway, so like I would want like that sort of character to be in place at the very least. And then I also want, I want the fun, weird, like Kung Fu master to teach them at some point. Those are some NPCs I would put into my backstory so that the DM has the ability to bring these up later. Yeah. And we get some interesting tension, romantic tension, or just interesting training sequences, things of that nature. Right. So like our character's ultimate goal is to regain their confidence and like basically love themselves and identify their own skills and power, and like, hey, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good at this. But there is a thing to measure themselves against, right? Like the Dragon Warrior in Kung Fu Panda is the thing that he's like, oh, I would never be the Dragon Warrior. I cannot be that, right? Everyone says I cannot be that. But then it's a reframing of what it means to be a Dragon Warrior, right? At the end, he becomes that. Like, this is basically like another version of like, who's the legendary Super Saiyan in Dragon Ball Z? And it's like, okay, well, surely it must be this person, or surely it must be that, or the legendary Super Saiyan can't be this bumbling idiot named Goku. And then it's like, well, yep, guess what, guys? The main character happens to be the legendary Super Saiyan. But like, it has this measuring stick to prove that the person has gained the confidence, or their character arc is complete through this title being bestowed upon them, etc. Right? Like that is a in-world universe thing representing it, right? Because in real life, it wouldn't be, Scott has earned the power of self-respect. Here's 5,000 coins. Like, that doesn't actually happen in any normal world. So like it would still represent that though in world. So what is that thing?
Like, I'm looking at how we break down tension, and I'm like, I feel like that is the pressure of, that is what the Dragon Warrior like symbol is. It's whatever. I don't think you have to make it like literally the Dragon Warrior. I think maybe this is a fascinating idea. I think maybe this person doesn't believe they are a literal barbarian. And that is what it is. Like, I don't know if you want to do, like, I don't know how you would play this character in a campaign, like how the campaign and the party composition would work. I don't know if you want to do it like nobody knows what like class they are, and then they're bestowed their class, and this character is kind of like no, like I'm the only one in the party who rejects my class because I don't think I am?
Yeah.
Or is it like you just happen to be that? Like that just happens to be your character. It doesn't have to fit in the context of the story. But you could obviously work with your DM and your party members to make this make sense, right? But I do think it's fascinating if we think about, the Dragon Warrior is a role that is bestowed onto a person that this person goes, I am not that. So, and if you really think about it, technically everybody in that temple is a class in D&D. Like if you really want to pin it down, you can call them all monks, I guess, if you want to. But like in some way, shape, or form, you can also separate them and be like, this is just a party of people.
Yep.
And Poe is one of them. Like that's what it is. And he's just the only one that doesn't believe he belongs there. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that's fascinating if you play this character who's like, oh, I've been told I'm a barbarian, but I'm definitely not. And I don't know what I am, but I'm not a barbarian.
Right.
And that's the tension. Like is that like everything around them is saying you are a barbarian or everything around them is saying you're not. Like you have this push and pull of like certain people being like, you have to be. And then other people being like, no, I should have been a barbarian, but I'm not because of you. So like, and that's fascinating to me. So that's what I would say.
I would recommend then, if we're going to do that, because I think that's a great idea, is this person's not embracing it. If you are going to level up to level 3 and you get to choose your archetype or your subclass, I would want to do the path of wild magic, because that feels pretty like chaotic Poe-like of like, and like Skadoosh-y.
Yes.
You know? But also, if you start at level 3 or above, I would want to pick that, because then like wild magic doesn't feel like a normal barbarian thing. Like, so, but then you get to embrace the fact that, you know, wild magic is part of an actual D&D barbarian subclass, and it kind of becomes a thing. So I would almost mechanicalize it that way too, of like, ooh, random things. You know, it's like maybe with Path of the Wild Magic, like you can choose to forgo the benefits of rage, other than the fact that you get like wild magic, and you can work with your dungeon master to make the wild magic like a lot more crazy. If you watch TSB season 2, we do use some wild magic stuff with a sorcerer instead. But we made our own custom table of stuff that happens. And that custom tables for wild magic tables are great ways to throw chaos in there, but also kind of anthropomorphize or mechanicalize the story. And we had it so that all the beneficial stuff was at the top of the list, and all the net bad stuff was at the bottom of the list. And we had Aaron's character Morty roll with like negative bonuses, so that he was more likely to hit the stuff. And then every single session we voted, did Aaron's character gain confidence? And then the negative modifier went up every time he gained confidence, and in theory it would go back down as well. So it represented his character growth, and it felt like really good, because the wild magic table suddenly became something that was not bad. It was something to embrace. And so it's very cool. And I would recommend that. Check it out if you want to see that and take a look at some of the ways to do that. I think that's really cool. Let's go for a full recap of what we talked about, because I should have been writing it down the entire time, but I didn't. We're still going to recap. Okay, so for base build, we decided to make Kung Fu Panda / Poe as a D&D character. We decided that we were going to make him a barbarian who doesn't really want to be a barbarian, or doesn't believe they can be. And we also discussed some things like the Objima module, or the just being a drunken fist monk, but ultimately going with the barbarian. And we wanted to give them a mechanical flaw where they roll at disadvantage if they are near an object of choice, like a cookie or some other food object. But whatever weird, funny thing you can come up with, make that happen. And they'll roll at disadvantage to around this object, but if they eat the object or the object is threatened, then they get advantage because that's just really funny, and that's going to make the whole thing. Their inner drive intention is to grow in self-confidence and understand that they can be the dragon warrior or whatever title you want to exist in this scenario. In fact, like they can be the barbarian. They are a barbarian. They can do this. And we suggested that you also just do a different atypical barbarian subclass like Path of Wild Magic or something like that in order to kind of show that the character is not a normal barbarian, but also obviously can be because it's legitimate D&D subclass published by Wizards of the Coast. So that should get us there overall. We also discussed a little bit of stuff of like, instead you could have a custom class feature that like allows you to use the stat that's not like your normal stat as your normal stat in order to make some of those things happen. Regardless, though, Taylor, that is a summary of how to do Poe as a D&D PC character. Any final thoughts before we go?
One of my favorite things about Poe is that he can bounce things off of his belly. So feel free to think about body parts that can do that. Like if your barbarian is a myconid, maybe they always bounce things off of their head. And I think that's cute. Just think about it.
That's a little extra froth or weird for us right there, too.
Mm-hmm.
That is such a good idea. And like, Dungeon Master, as you're watching this, we should totally allow that as like a custom little thing, especially because they're taking like disadvantage on stuff and like literally trying to not be a barbarian. You got to reward the flavor. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in our next video. You can like and subscribe for more content like this.
Jurassic Park, How to Train Your Dragon, The Princess Bride, Inception, Matrix, Mad Max, Fury Road, John Wick, Ghostbusters, Pokemon, Hunger Games, 28 days later.
Hey there, just want to shout out to our patrons. Thanks so much for subscribing on Patreon and supporting the show. Thanks to Count Bubba, Fizz, Fedorva Will, Richard, Varner Jr., and Who's Scruffy Looking.